Hello friends. I am Eugen Savu, and today, we will talk about the behavior of those who have returned from the world beyond this existence and how it can be explained. This topic is part of an extended subject dedicated to a broad concept: life, death, reincarnation. But to get to the magic trident of the mystery of the concept of life, I think it is helpful to try to penetrate the jumble of information, ideas, and principles based on the testimonies of those who have returned from the world beyond. Based on existing accounts, one particular fact is that these experiences radically transform those who have lived them. Most of those who have returned from the other side we know and hear about are becoming believers, claiming they no longer fear death and are trying to be the best they can be to change their way of life. However, nothing is said about those who saw nothing, went into absolute blackness, saw demons, and had a terrifying experience. Why? We will try to find an explanation by the end of this exposition. The mysterious experiences experienced by people in the state known as clinical death could be caused by the intense electrical activity in the brain in the moments before death. Before death, brain activity increases, and this could explain the spiritual experiences reported by those who have recovered from clinical death. Many patients have reported feeling bathed in light or experiencing a strong sense of peace and tranquility as they walked through a light tunnel. Some even had visions of religious entities such as Jesus, Muhammad, or Krishna, while others described how they felt as if they were floating above their bodies, which they could see lying on the bed. The image of a bright tunnel, the appearance of dead relatives or biblical figures, and the moment when someone looks down on their own body lying in bed are just some of the images frequently recounted by people who have experienced this. Psychiatrist Bruce Grayson, psychologist Kenneth Ring, and cardiologist Michael Sabom have conducted further research in this area. They analyzed 2,500 reported cases in the United States and more than 700 in the rest of the world. The study concluded that there seems to be a clear pattern that patients follow. 1. Wellness. 2. Separation from the physical body. 3. Darkness. 4. Light. 5. Moving towards the light. What do people who go through these experiences perceive? Many considered clinically dead but later resuscitated have reported meeting their deceased relatives or angels. Most such experiences are perceived as pleasant, although there have also been cases where sufferers have seen demons or had the impression that they were falling into darkness, feeling alone and frightened. Not all accounts, however, are about beautiful lights, indescribable joy, and relief. Some who have recounted what they remember after passing through clinical death relate terrifying experiences, such as falling unbroken into nothingness or being tormented by demons and monsters. These stories have been interpreted by many as evidence of the existence of heaven and hell. However, the criteria by which some are sent to one side and others to the other have remained very difficult to explain because those who have had terrifying visions cannot explain what they have done to deserve them. Interestingly, however, these negative states were not more common in people who wanted to commit suicide or atheists, so the argument about the importance of faith in the perception of these states does not seem valid. What about those who have had terrifying experiences? Those who have gone into absolute darkness have learned for the first time, shockingly, that darkness doesn't spread. It's just the absence of light. Darkness is not a material manifestation. Darkness is not a physical thing. It is a mental concept, and it makes no sense to attribute material dimensions. The principal state of nature is darkness. You have to add something to the darkness to make light anywhere. Be it a light bulb, sun, whatever you want. In space, it's darkness, not light. Only where something shines is light. So, the primordial state of nature is dark and cold. That's where it starts. But for them, this is where it all stops. They have been brought to the initial state to understand that their spiritual level is zero. If, for some to whom the subconscious gave them various signals during their lives, light or dual images appeared, which facilitated a choice on return and a way forward because they found the path and understood that for the spirit, there is something more beautiful after separation from the for others, the situation is more complicated regarding the physical body. Those who reached the dark zone and stopped there, I mean they failed to approach the last stage, the rising to the light, and experienced abandonment in the initiated state of darkness and cold, not to mention the inner demons who came out untouched where they feel good, in the dark, are those who at the return had two distinct directions. Some have closed themselves in, understood that they have been spiritually reduced to zero state, and without coming out, have tried, understanding the experiences they have lived through to build a spiritual path that will help them so that, at the final moment, they can reach the light. Others, just the opposite, got stuck and concluded that apart from this existence, their spirit has nothing to experience further. And everything for them comes down to what is happening here. For the latter, biohackers have many explanations. Some articles sound like science fiction and say that through ingestion, cryogenics, one can intervene in the state of clinical death to recover the body faster, but what about the spirit? Most info about freeze technologies involves rewriting the matrix of those concerned. Once rewritten, when they came back, these people were no longer behaviorally identical to those before. The fixity and the greed with which they cling to material life are eloquent. For them, life exists, death will come, and reincarnation is no longer allowed. For the rest, there is life after death, as you will learn in our future meetings. I am Eugen Savu, and today we talked about the behavior of those who have returned from the world beyond this existence and how it can be explained.